Tom Aspinall has sent a strong message. Once he takes care of Cyril Gane, his sights are locked on Jon Jones. No stalling, no more waiting. Aspinall insists that after defeating Gane, he'll have conquered almost the entire heavyweight roster, leaving Jon Jones with nowhere left to run.
Jon Jones is the guy I want to fight. Sure. Of course. Then we go Stipe. That's not happening. He's dismissed me on multiple occasions, and I'm not the first guy that he's dismissed. I'm not the first guy that he's ducked. The reason that I got the Pavlovich fight was because Cyril didn't want it. So he ducked Pavlovich, ducked Curtis Blades. I asked for him years ago, didn't want it then.
If Dana White this weekend says, all right, what do you want, champ? Who are you picking?
Jon Jones is the guy I want to fight.
Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall. Biggest fight in the industry. But, okay, that's a little bit too far. Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall is the biggest fight in the heavyweight class. Does that sound better? Could you go with that?
For more than a year, Jon Jones has brushed off Tom Aspinall, claiming he hasn't earned his shot. But now, Aspinall is just steps away from showing as the most dangerous force in the heavyweight division. If he runs through Cyril Gane, the talk that he hasn't proven himself will be finished once and for all.
He's annoying to me. He's annoying to me. And that's my own personal, he annoys me. I get to you guys, you find it entertaining, but I find him annoying. And I just don't like him. And at the end of the day, if I give him the opportunity to fight me, I want to be so compensated. I want to say it, I want that you money, honestly. And that's just what it is. That's just what it is. Or else, my life is perfect without him. I don't need him at all, and he needs me. And that's a good place to be in a negotiation.
I guess the clarifying question then is, if Dana and Hunter do come to you after this fight, the figures make sense to you, would you then be open to fighting Tom Aspinall, or are you categorically thinking, he does nothing for me, I will not fight that guy?
He does nothing for me. He does nothing for me. If you're a person that wants to see me really challenged, then I get it. 7 years younger, like 35 pounds bigger than me, right? I get it. It's like, wow, this Jon's so good. We finally found someone way younger and way bigger than him. Let's see how he does against that. I get that narrative. But for me, if you were my manager, if you were on my team, why not fight against Pereira, a guy who's the same age as you, and we walk around the same exact size? Business-wise, it makes more sense. Fight I'm going to call him this, fight the nobody that may be more dangerous, or fight the guy with all the accolades who's incredibly dangerous, but it actually will affect your legacy.
You have Jon Jones and Aspinall confirmed.
Jon Jones has made it clear I want to do this, and you know, he sent me a text apologizing and all that stuff, but I need people that I can seriously rely on for this one. You know, people talk shit about Conor. He and I have been talking nonstop, and he's like, I'm dead serious. I want this. You know, I'm training. I'm back in the pool. I'm doing all the shit. So we'll see.
What I really want is the undisputed title. That's really what I was chasing the whole time. I was never really chasing one guy. Jon Jones was always just a bonus because of the stuff, because of the resume that he's got, and because of the name that he has and the status that he holds within the sport. Like, he's so well respected. I think that would have been a great scalp for me to have on my resume. But ultimately, I was chasing the belt. I was chasing being the #1 heavyweight fighter in the world, which I am, and I can say that I am now, especially with Jon not around and he's retired and that's behind us. But ultimately, the thing that I wanted really was the belt. The fact that Jon's left the sport. Obviously, it would have been better for me career-wise to have that name. Financially, it would have been great as well. But the thing that I was ultimately chasing was the heavyweight title.
The MMA world is fired up because Jon Jones is officially back in the testing pool. He's back in the gym, dropping hints of a return and pushing hard to secure a spot on the upcoming UFC White House card. But
Donald Trump mentioned that he wanted to have a fight at the White House card, and that just seems like such a huge opportunity. I'm a very proud American. I have a lot of close friends that are in the military. To be able to entertain the country and the world at this level at the White House, it just means the world to me. So I'm back.
I feel freaking tremendous. I'm training constantly. The brand's in a great place. We're doing really cool things, cool people like yourself, and I'm just happy to be here.
Are you going to be a part of this White House card?
I don't know. I'm definitely training constantly for the opportunity. My goal is to just show Dana how serious I am about being in the event, and I hope he chooses me. But ultimately, it's in his hands. He's the boss.
It's got to be a good sign that you're here, though. Like with CBS and Paramount Plus and this big UFC deal. I feel like if you weren't in everyone's good graces right now, I probably wouldn't be talking to you, right?
Exactly. It's a great sign that I'm not only here, but a part of the production and part of the
Hey, so they've announced this White House UFC fight. What do you think about that?
I think it's exciting. Very exciting.
Can we expect to see you on the card?
I can't promise anyone anything, but I have very strong feeling that I'll be on that card.
But who would you take on? Who would be your dream opponent?
I would want to take on whoever's holding the belt at the end of the year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Any possible names you think?
Well, I mean, as of right now, the champion is Tom Aspinall, but we'll see who's the champion at the end of the year. I feel like it'd be only fitting to have an American guy fight for the championship that night. I'd be willing to put it all on.
Nice.
First and foremost, are you retired?
I am not retired. I'm actively training 5 days a week, and I'm in the UFC's drug testing pool.
Great. And what's the status of the fight at the White House?
I don't really know. It's kind of out of my control right now. I'm training for the event. I'll be ready for the event. That's my goal. That's my intention. But ultimately, it's up to the boss.
Dana White isn't convinced. He's made it clear that Jon Jones can't be fully trusted after withdrawing from the Aspinall fight last year. And
he has made it very clear to me that this is what he wants to do. I need people on this card that I can count on, that no matter what happens, that are going to show up that night. Jon Jones and I just had a deal that he pulled out of. He's not on the top of my list, even though I say it all the time, he's the greatest of all time.
Who is?
Conor McGregor, because people like to talk shit about that too, but he is that guy.
Jon Jones is known for being unpredictable in more ways than one, both inside the octagon and outside of it, so he can't be upset or disappointed when Dana White says, look, the White House card is something that logistically is already difficult enough. It's a security nightmare, but I also don't know, quite frankly, if I can trust Jon Jones in a spot like this.
And Jon Jones says he wants to be on there too, and he says he would fight whoever the champion is at that time. But would you be okay with him like coming back and potentially winning that belt again? And you might have to go through.
Well, it's not even about him winning the belt. I mean, you know how I felt about him. I can't risk putting him in big positions in a big spot and have something go wrong.
Fair enough.
Yeah, especially the White House card.
Over a year ago, I think, said, I will retire this man without even having to fight him. He's never going to fight me. And despite all the umming and ahhing and all the fucking pretending that he was going to actually ever get in the cage with Tom Aspinall, Jon Jones has done what we always knew he was going to do. He's tucked tail and ran. Imagine calling yourself a goat and yet behaving like such a duck. I mean, this is like back in the playground. Jon Jones has got a bike. Tom Aspinall's come over and goes, give us your bike now. What you have to do then is fight. You have to defend what your shit is and say, no, you're not going to take this. And do you know what Jon Jones did? You have it. I don't want to fight. You can have it. This is unbelievable. The greatest of all time. What a load of shit. I'm sorry. Never going to call that him the GOAT ever again. Because being the greatest of all time is not just about winning. And that's what Jon Jones doesn't understand. It's about how you conduct yourself throughout the whole of your career. Are you willing to fight the biggest challenges, the biggest tests, go in there and test yourself against everyone? And Jon Jones proved, without a shadow of a doubt, his biggest test stepped up and he bottled it well and truly. Remember this clip from like over a year ago when Jon actually met Tom in person?
Respect, man. All the best. Respect. All the best. Do a quick picture. Sure. Yeah? Let's get it. A face-off. No, okay.
He wouldn't even face off with Tom Aspinall, let alone get in a cage with him. And after all of the fannying around and waiting for Jon Jones to man up and strap his balls on and defend his heavyweight title, because you've never really earned it. You beat a guy who wasn't even the champion. You beat Sleepy. Oh my God, what a farce that fight was. That will go down as the most pointless, pathetic fight I can imagine in a world title fight in UFC history. What a waste of time that was. And all of that time letting Jon just waste time fighting old man Sleepy, who could barely fucking walk, let alone fight. They gave him a bone. They threw him a bone and went, we'll give you the Sleepy fight if you give us the Aspinall fight. He took the Sleepy fight and then went running. And we have wasted so many fucking months, and all of it for what? For Jon Jones to eventually get to the point where the UFC were like, are you going to fucking fight or not? And he's put a fucking tweet out to retire. career. That's what all of this was for. A fucking tweet.
The only path for Jon Jones to win back Dana White's trust is by stepping up and finally facing Tom Aspinall before the year comes to a close.
Oh, and a press conference in Azerbaijan.
Jon Jones called us last night and retired. Jon Jones is officially retired. Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the UFC.
It's honestly a disgrace that this is how Tom Aspinall wins his heavyweight world title when Jones never beat anyone who was the champion either. Jones was never any more of a champion than Tom Aspinall was. But for him to be announced as world champ like this, it's just not right. And when you look at the star that Tom Aspinall could be, the amount of fights he could have had in all of this time, and the fact that he's just patiently sat there and wasted months and over a year of his career in his prime because Jon Jones might want to fight him, what a disaster this is. And I can't believe that it's taken the UFC this long to figure that out. And I get it on the one hand because they're trying to give the fans what they want. And also, who would have really believed that someone like Jon Jones would delay things this long and bottle it in such fashion? I mean, it's pathetic on his part. But to be fair, Aspinall predicted it himself. So I just wish that they hadn't Michael Chandlered him this badly and kept him on ice. And inactivity is a terrible thing for fighters. And I just hope that this doesn't impact Aspinall's career any more than it already has. Because unlike Jon Jones, people can say what they want about Jon Jones as a fighter, right? We've all acknowledged he's a skilled fighter, but as a man, I think he's a piece of shit. And Tom Aspinall is a very good man, in my opinion, and I just hope he gets the treatment that he deserves for the remainder of his UFC career, because this hasn't been good enough. The one good thing to come out of this for Tom Aspinall, other than the heavyweight title, is kind of his aura now. When the greatest of all time won't even step in a cage with you, it builds up who you are, right? You have that fear factor of the guy who everyone was scared of is scared of him. How fucking good is Tom Aspinall? Very good is the answer. And it's funny because in all of the posturing that Jon did in the tweeting and the interviews and I don't care, I don't want to fight him, he doesn't do anything for all of that coping that we witnessed where he was trying to say everything he could to make himself feel better about not wanting to fight this guy and telling us all how unbothered he was in fighting Tom Aspinall showed exactly how bothered he was. Because Jon Jones, like, you know, even though he thinks he's smart, he's a child, right? And he doesn't realize in all of that coping, we can read him like a fucking book.
Picture this. Tom Aspinall versus Jon Jones in December. The showdown the entire MMA world has been waiting for.
I don't believe that he should be considered the greatest of all time.
Yes, they make you stronger, they make you faster, they give you endurance.
Even though I was the best I could ever be, knowing that I have to be ready. He's 28, the best fighter of all time. I would never give that because of that. He's not the only guy I fought on. If I can't beat him, nobody else is beating him. Because when I fight the other ones, I destroy him.
Right.
Checklist of what you want in a fighter. Jon Jones. They're talking about a White House fight card. We got to have some Americans win. I don't like Jon Jones. There's no secret. The whole world knows it.
Right.
I said, man, y'all better put Jon Jones on there. We ain't got one American in the top 10 pound for pound. I said, if y'all want an American dude to go get a victory, put Jon Jones in there. He gonna win. That's what he does.
Yes.
People call you the greatest of all time.
A question for DC.
Yes, sir.
I saw Jon Jones is back in the testing pool.
Yes.
Talking about going on the White House card.
Yes.
I think with his extensive criminal record, the Secret Service will let him on the White House grounds.
That's such a good question. Woo.
That's actually a good question. Well, we always have to pass background checks when Trump's there and he got the fight, so I'd imagine he will be. And I gotta be honest with you. All right, so listen. No disrespect to anyone here. I love you guys so much. You can go to the White House and I'm positive you'll win, right? But if we really need an American to win, right, gotta kind of send Jon Jones, don't we? I mean, seriously, like, I mean, I don't want to do it. Like, I don't like him, but it's like,
No, he's going.
hey, he said, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And nobody tries harder than me. Are you sure Jon Jones doesn't try a little harder than I do?
Oh, no.
It's a clash between Tom Aspinall, the unstoppable force, and Jon Jones, the legendary yet controversial figure. And if Jones steps up in December and proves himself, the rematch could headline the UFC White House card next year, setting the stage for one of the biggest spectacles in combat sports history.
And all he's done is kind of promoted Tom Aspinall for an entire year in this tour that he's gone on, in showing you're scared of him, mate, and we fucking know you are, because actions speak louder than words. And Jon Jones has moaned his entire career about fighter pay. He named his price. Dana White gave him it and said, yep, no problem. and he still turned down the fight. This is a man motivated by money. He never shuts up about it. You get your biggest payday ever, and you still haven't got the balls to step a toe in that fucking cage with him. I know a lot of Jon Jones fans, you know, will be hating and all of that, and, you know, he doesn't need the fight, whatever. His heavyweight legacy has been the worst of any heavyweight we've ever seen as a champion. You know deep down, your boy bottled it. And anyone who's deluding themselves into thinking otherwise, you gotta grow up, man. It's so obvious what's going on here. And I get it, you know, you're emotionally attached to a fighter. He won all of those fights. He's the GOAT in your eyes, but you have to understand, he's now the duck. He is the duck, and he will be the duck forever. If Tom Aspinall loses a fight to someone who has got the balls to step in the cage with him, he'll be immediately on Twitter, say, I told you he wasn't that good. I've always been better than him. No, no, no. We're not having that. You didn't have the balls to get in the cage with Tom Aspinall. If someone else beats him, that's their win, not yours. And that could happen, because we all know heavyweight MMA is different to every other division. One punch can change everything.
Jon, in my opinion, if you look at his body of work over the last 15 years, he's like as close as you can get to perfection as possible. He's like 37, 38 years old, but not only that, he's got a million miles on the clock. So he's got a lot of damage on the body. He's took a lot of shots to the head. And that's not me saying anything negative about it. That's the reality of it. And I'm sure Jon Jones is aware of that. And he's fighting one of the most concussive punchers in UFC history. And I just think I can exploit it. Like, I think to get out the way of me for 25 minutes at this point in his career without getting hit once, and that's all I need is just one, I think that's going to be very difficult for anybody. I actually agree with a lot of what Jon says. When you put the resumes next to each other, his resume is far superior to mine. The risk reward for the both of us. His risk is, he has everything.
So on the skill differentials, where would you say he has the edge and where do you have the edge?
Well, he's amazing at everything. He's amazing at everything.
Are you better than him at any one discipline?
No, but I'm way younger and way more athletic and way bigger, and I possess a power that he's never seen before or even come close to. But it's not about Jon's resume. It's about who's the best in the world right now, and I think it's me.
I saw an interview where it said you and Jon are aligned, and you guys have decided together to allow for the UFC to tell you what you're doing. Is that true?
Nah, man, Jon's retired. What are you talking about, guys? Jon, you guys don't follow Jon on social media?
I don't follow him on social media. He said that.
No, me too, actually. Me too, but the guy is living his best life. He's had a fantastic career, we all know. We know Jon's a religious man, so I want to say God bless him moving forward in what he does with his life and his career. And you know, we move on. We move on. I'm the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. I'm ready to take on all comers, get this division moving again. Us guys have been waiting around too long. You know, the contenders are getting sick of it. Everybody's getting sick of it. Even the fans are getting sick of this stuff. So Jon's retired and it's time that we move on.
Fans are already divided. Many believe Tom Aspinall would overwhelm Jon Jones, with his speed, power, and complete skill set simply being too much to handle.
How do you feel about Jon retiring? I have mixed emotion about Jon retiring. I think if the man wants to retire, he should retire. I think he been on top for so many years. Honestly, this is a young man's sport. We know all his lifestyle. That's what he does. He's very talented, right? Talent take you so far, but after the hard work kicking, I don't think Jon Jones. I think he's been just so talented, beating everybody I've talented, but not lately. I don't think, honestly, if I was him and I want to keep my legs intact, I'll not fight Tom Aspinall or Francis Ngannou.
Jon Jones will smoke Tom Aspinall.
Tom Aspinall is athletic.
Aspinall is a great fighter. He's a good champion. Jon Jones will smoke Aspinall.
Yeah.
Smoke him.
I can't wait to see. I hope it happens. That's the fight that needs to happen. I think Tom Aspinall versus Jon Jones needs to happen.
Why do you think there's so much friction there? Why do you think it's not happening? Because we see so much.
I think Jon Jones said he wants $30 million.
If UFC were to pay that, I'm sure they could figure out a way. You think he would do it?
Of course they could fucking pay. They just reported earnings. Give me the exact fucking numbers what their earnings was.
UFC brought in 1.4 and WWE
1.4 billion. We're in a situation where the company wants something from Jon Jones. They want Tom Aspinall to fight Jon Jones. Jon Jones says, I would like $30 million. Can you guys pay me, yes or no? No, Jon Jones, we can't pay you. Perfect, the fight doesn't even happen.
But he's the same height as me, if not an inch taller, but thick. Yeah. And I was like, fuck, you're a lot thicker than I would expect. Yeah. And the speed, that's the thing that I'm like, okay, that's the danger. But again, grappling, he's a black belt. But Jon is fucking...
It's different.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. They gotta fight. But if they don't ever fight, we'll never know.
Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall. No, Jon Jones is the GOAT in my book. You know, he's one of the best. And I recently saw Aspinall fight for the first time recently, and he's a great fighter, and he's a great champion. But I think it'll be tough for me to ever say that anybody will beat Jon Jones until it happens.
It's a very intriguing fight. If I had to put money on it, it'd be super hard for me to bet against a guy like Jones, just because I know the mindset that he comes in with. Not saying Aspinall couldn't get it done because of all those physical gifts that he has, but dog, betting against a guy like that, who, if he gets you on the ground, that's just a bad night.
Others argue that Jon Jones' fight IQ, years of experience, and ability to adapt in any situation would still give him the edge. But one thing is undeniable. Tom Aspinall is done with the excuses and the delays. He wants Jon Jones, and he wants him now. The real question is, will Jon finally step up, or will Aspinall's rise continue without the one fight that could define his legacy? The spotlight is on Jones, and this time, there's nowhere left to hide.